Fast forward, in come out China so GH Politics already. Podcast or the phenomenon which make headlines. Ne jemre na EDB exomo ewaha nidi mahurrak simus ene EDD kanya. So we subscribe to the channel, hit notification bell, so share. Now Akuffo so answer into me NPP nidi mahurrak simu yombo inra aye political highway sinimuria. Jendem enya asam kotwa na ninga and accept His Excellency John Dramani Mahama etimi abura aye NLA National Lottery Authority na aye KGL contract enon ehun sensem ebaye no omapen ahye se enye forensic review of aye KGL contract with NLA na omonfa report na embreno onya at this point in time no yembo inra aye in siminim na yenhwe ne ko ene de eba age politics already yamin sure when you say wajemre awalsi.
Now, away from that, President Mahama has directed a comprehensive review and potential renegotiation of the contract between the National Lottery Authority and KGL Group Limited or KGL Group Technology Limited. The order contained in a memorandum from the Secretary of the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama, cites recent publications by the Fourth Estate and preliminary consultations with the Attorney General and the Finance Minister as the trigger for the action. Here's more.
The presidential directive states that the primary objectives of the review are to ensure complete protection of the public interest, value for money, and strict compliance with applicable laws, regulations, and government policy. A joint technical team to be constituted by the Attorney General in collaboration with the Finance Minister and the Minister responsible for the NLA will conduct the exercise. The team is mandated to submit its recommendations to the President within a specified time frame. The review will be wide-ranging and will specifically examine the legal basis, scope, duration, and financial terms of the contract. It will also assess all revenue-sharing arrangements, fees, commissions, exclusivity clauses, and any potential liabilities for the state. The team will determine the contract's compliance with the Constitution, the Public Procurement Act, the National Lottery Act, and all relevant approvals. It will also evaluate performance obligations, transparency requirements, data ownership, and audit rights with the goal of identifying any contractual clauses that unduly prejudice the state or constrain regulatory oversight. Pending the outcome, all parties involved have been directed to cooperate fully with the review team and provide unfettered access to all contracts, correspondence, financial records, and operational data.
Now, away from that, on Accra's Akroma Ashalaja Amasaman route, drivers like Stephen Kumi wake up every day chasing a simple dream to earn an earnest living. Instead, they're forced to battle deep potholes and frequent breakdowns. Kumi's work and pay vehicles is slowly falling apart, and he is not alone. Drivers and residents who ply this route say the poor road network is turning daily travel into a nightmare. In our first episode of our feature series, Roads of Peril, my colleague Pearl Fosu focuses on the poor road network in communities in the Amasaman constituency.
It's dusty, uneven, and almost impassable. This is the Amasaman constituency, where large stretches of road remain untarred and have been in this state for years. I meet Stephen Kumi, a driver who has plied this route for a decade, and he says every trip is a painful experience. The 50-year-old native of Asaman Kese once hoped to become a teacher, but a lack of funds forced him to abandon school. He later trained as a mechanic before eventually becoming a driver. While he loves his job, the condition of the roads has turned every trip into a struggle.
Since from inception, this road has not seen a major transformation or something. It's very, very bad. In the election time, they will come and grade for us. Yes. After that, nobody will come here again. They will pack their tools after election. It's unfortunate. We are pleading with government and our MP, Mr. Senyo, come and look this road for us. From Amasaman to Obom. Amasaman has so many villages. So many villages. This place
Kumi is not alone. Drivers here share similar experiences.
The Imam Kansa, me Akroma local secretary. Na ekwa we ya bon ya demonstration sa ya demo ya bre. It is here. See no ya do say because say edu campaign tema no maba. Ma dada ya na ye dio mochi. Zere ezu fa ya wadwon. Zere kwa na sekura. Hwe ka vuro mi kura hwe. Asenya mo nyina asai. Ampa o. Asenya mo nyina asai. Ise mi dua bia fa manye sika akoto. Pastor no. Just say, "Take one day, to Frank. One day, I say, say, cast a bill as the shop. Who call crack and my crowd once a can be so. I say, it's a quite so."
We drive through Amasaman 3 Junction, Ashalaja, Ayikai Doblo, Akraman, and Doblo Gono. The vehicle wobbles constantly as we ply the uneven terrain. It takes a great deal of patience and skill to maneuver through this corridor. Vehicle breakdowns are a common sight in these communities. Drivers say more than a dozen break down every week.
Melodufri Amasamai to Akroma. Mr. Shashi in Deka Nam Quine is 1 week from Menya. In fact, Manu who crossed him in Nam Quine also. Madame Sonny Hunam Raya Mea. Nanserian Mabica Quines, Mabica Nucrano. Still none in Shunas out on Gassaseno. You should gas out to cry the cry, and your cry. Naman Shia Taquinos, none will be dear cry, can't be crying Jabos and Shia Jabos and Mamma, Jabos and Crassay. In fact, where the Bessere in Penifona, Omoya, no Mama Buena, Quano Moya Quano Mai. Ye ban kwa school for no complain classe. Quine your ombe faka ombe bombe kofino. No hunamunina yomuya, ombeko based Damianzano. Na omabre.
Former Assembly member for Ukushi-Biade, Daniel Kwabna Ampong, says all efforts to draw attention to the deplorable state of the roads during his tenure failed to yield any results.
I've done most of the demonstrations in this place, call people, goes to major institutions to make sure this road will be constructed. But yet still, I think they don't care, they don't mind. But I hope the government has changed. So we're really championing that the government will look back.
With sections of the Amasaman portion of the Accra-Kumasi Highway still incomplete, heavy-duty trucks diverting through the communities have worsened the situation.
I Doblo Gono. Na Doblo Gono no ye kwan we me ba kwan we so 2004. Na ente kwan ente sei. Ba bedru ba bi kwan no ye hwe kwan se de kwan se tie a. Ananti ho aka ho asem a omufie. Titem bia every present day ye ko shop se me ni wo kase kura na a mo ye me interview me ni wo kase. Be fi shop na be. Makwa boso kan aba bedru ha. Akose almost 3000 me nsem. Enso se na ade be chi no mesa ko shop bio. Tem bia ko fe lie isan ho a nipa ko hu ntokwa ure kura be ho. Adenti.
Like drivers, traders are also feeling the brunt of the poor road conditions. Ifwa Santoa, a petty trader, explains that accessing reliable transport for her goods is a constant struggle. About 100 meters from the Ashalaja Bridge, I meet Janet Inkum. On her own initiative, she fills deep potholes with sand, offering a temporary relief to drivers, commuters and residents who use the stretch every day.
Obia supporting me that. Me to be renting house mo. Say be drivers ya. Ebi obi twemu 1 cedi. Obi twemu 5 cedis. Obi ono twemu no hwe eduma na meye no na eye ne fa. Ebi ono ama 20 cedis. Enu ana me boaboa no kakra. Ama pebi aso.
Before leaving, I asked Janet if I could help with the work. Of course, without taking a peswa. Gawa's Municipal Chief Executive John Desmond Soanai admits that the state of roads in many communities is a cause for concern, but assures residents that measures are being put in place to address the problem.
Gawas, as a municipality, we also making efforts to reshape some of the roads by using the drip equipment. But reshaping is not a solution, because when you reshape the road and it rains, it becomes worse. And the more you reshape, it means that you are taking off the surface soil and it's going down. And when you reshape, it makes it easier for the surface to be eroded. But for the networks that we've talked about, the road network we talk about, if these roads are considered, because these are major roads, and this connect to other municipalities. So therefore, it makes Accra central and easily commutable. It means that we are diverting traffic if you want to go to Kumasi. So this is not just for farming purposes. It's also a measure to urbanize the other areas to ease the pressure on Accra.
Back in the communities, drivers like Stephen Kumi say their request is simple.
It's a manhole, madam.
This is a manhole.
It's a manhole.
Decent roads that reduce breakdowns and restore dignity to daily travel. For Joy News, I am Pelo Furi.
And now let's turn our attention to the Ghana Education Service. The Ghana Education Service has issued a strong warning to school heads across the country over illegal registration for this year's WASSCE. In a statement, the GES says only Form 3 students with verified records are eligible, cautioning that any administrator who flouts the rules will face strict sanctions. I'm joined on Zoom by Head of Public Relations at GES, Daniel Fenyi. Good afternoon, Daniel, and thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
All right, so to our very first question, the statement refers to some heads engaging in unauthorized WASSCE registration. Can you tell us how widespread this practice is and whether specific regions or schools have been identified by the service?
Yes, indeed. Let me indicate that the situation is not as widespread, but we believe that even if it's just instance of 1 or 2, and since it is an illegality, we need to still curb it and not wait till it gains national level prominence. Our argument as Ghana Education Service simply is that the scores that we see the students get in the WASSCE, so when they go for the WASSCE certificate, the grades that you see on their certificate, it's not only scores from the sit-down exams they wrote. It is a partly accumulation of the scores and the marks they got even in school, right from Form 1, Form 2, and then Form 3. These school marks and scores are accumulated, put together, and sent to WAEC as a class score. And then the marks they obtain from the WASSCE is also examination score put together. That becomes the grades that they obtain, and you would see on their certificate. So if a head is registering a Form 2 student or a Form 1 student or a private candidate who is not in the school, what it means is that the head may have to manufacture scores or grades for, the class score or the school scores for the learner, and that is grossly unacceptable. You don't manufacture results, you don't manufacture grades. You give the learners the opportunity to earn the results that they get. And so for us, if a student is not in Form 3, it means that they have not gotten all the accumulated scores they should get in school. And so we we need to patiently take them through the process to get these scores. That is number one. Number two, school is not only about the production of grades and results. School teaches so many things, including procedures, including processes, including patience, including doing the right thing. And so if our children who are largely innocent going about their academic businesses are helped and fast-tracked into the system, what happens is that they graduate, go out to the field of work, and in anything they do, they want it fast-tracked because that's how they got it in school. And we wouldn't want that situation to happen where in future, you go to a hospital, you find doctors who want to fast track everything for you. You go to, in future, you see engineers who want to fast track the construction of roads and not necessarily interested in the quality, interested in the procedure, interested in the right processes. And so our appeal and caution is to our school leaders that we have entrusted into your hands a certain number of students right from first year. These are the students you are accountable for. And so ensure that you register these students whose track records, academic progression, scores they obtained, attitudes in school are traceable in the school database before you register them. If you register anybody who is not part of the cohort you would have to register, that means that you are abusing your office, that means that you are engaging in an illegality, and you will definitely be made to face GES rules and regulations and WASSCE regulations. Yes.
Well, Daniel, you mentioned that these illegal registrations are often done in exchange for fees. Is the GES investigating how much money is being charged, and what measures are in place to ensure that parents or students are refunded if wrongdoing is established?
Indeed, the monies seem to be the incentive for this exercise, because our observation is that ordinarily a head will not register a Form 2 student who walks up to them that they want to write the WASSCE exams, or a private student who walks up to them that they want to write the exams. So largely they do this because they are able to take monies from these students, and the monies range in different amounts. But of course, our initial monitoring team, our initial observations are in place, and we would collate all the list. We are already getting a lot of reports from private individuals, some teachers in the various schools who also believe that this exercise is not the right thing. We would also cross-check with our systems here. If we realize that such unauthorized registration has taken place, then we take you through the right regulatory processes. So at the moment, of course, it is in the initial stages, but our team is on the grounds monitoring and everything. You know, one of the things this administration has vouched and promised is that we are going to ensure, enhance, if possible, restore the integrity of the WASSCE examination. Normally, when we say this, the thinking is that, then that means we will strengthen the invigilation. That means that we will make sure monitoring during the examination is strong and all that. But for us, we believe that the examination itself begins even from the registration process. And that is why our team is on the ground, monitoring, observing, recording some of these instances so that we take it up from there. But our school heads, various school heads should take this as a word of advice and caution that you are not allowed to register any student who is not in your school, who is in Form 2 or Form 1, or generally not qualified to take the WASSCE examination. That doesn't help you, it doesn't help the nation, it doesn't help anybody at all. Yes.
So then, if the directive is saying only Form 3 students with traceable records from year 1 to year 3 are eligible, how then is the GES going to audit school databases to ensure that Form 2 students have not already been registered for WASSCE?
Indeed, we constantly and continuously audit the data records that we receive, not only for the WASSCE, but for all other things. including the feeding provided to the students, infrastructure provided. So constantly, in terms of auditing, it is an exercise that the Ghana Education Service consistently do. And that's exactly what we are doing with the registration exercise as well. But even before that, or even aside this auditing, we want to indulge the integrity of the school leaders and the headmasters and the headmistresses in charge of these schools. That we don't even want a situation where they will perpetrate illegality, and now the burden is on national to make sure we audit and find the right thing. If you do that, then you don't even deserve to be in the office in the first place. So we believe that the integrity of our school leaders to first even be endorsed so that they do the right thing. In that case, when we are auditing at the national level, it becomes even easier because largely only Form 3 students who have scores for first year, scores for second year, and scores for third year, traceable ones, would be registered. So at the national level, we engage in auditing, we cross-check, we monitor, we observe, we make sure we do.
We and some of the team calls or channel so mamma so Jim Red as an say or what India do me Edomeria. Only essential na young small question because of AGH politics already.